Hey everyone, it's Aaron Williams here, and today I'm gonna be reacting to Engine 13. This is from Mr. Mindblocks' channel. I liked the trailer. I was excited to see this. I was gonna watch it during Halloween, but I had to give out candy, trick or treaters, and all that stuff, so I was too busy. But finally, it's here. Whew. It's 9 minutes and 14 seconds long. Let's see how this goes. This is going to be an interesting story. So, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Little Ponies Can Do Big Things Studios. That's right. Hey. We got a little My Little Pony. We got engine right there. Get that out of my screen. Daylight Twinkle presents. Is that? That's the haunt. That's the thing from that's the opening from Ghost Engine. Or Ghost Train? Yeah, Ghost Train. Oh, I like it. I like it. Wow, this is a good. I mean, I know it's the end. I know it's the Ghost Train theme, but jeez, this is like more scary and realistic. Oh boy, there's Engine 13. Man, I love the adapted and directed by Daylight Twinkle. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Oh. What happened? Wow, I love the night. Wow.
In the 1900s until the end of the
Wow,
1940s,
I love the background.
I was an engineer on the ET and WNC Railroad, aka the East Tennessee and West North Carolina Railway in North Carolina. I was specifically divisioned in North Carolina, and my prime locomotive was the number 11.
11, okay.
There was one story, though, that I have to tell about this railroad that I dare not have ever spoken of until now.
Alright.
Back in 1949, just 2 days before the railroad was due to close, I was running the 11 around the yard, shunning cars to get ready to pull the train the next day down to Cranberry. The next morning, we backed the engine up to the train and departed the
Magic
town.
Road, that's the Shining Time theme. Or the Billy theme from Billy Two Feathers. Okay, that's that song. I know the song. This is going really well.
We arrived at Cranberry about 2 hours later, and then uncoupled so we could turn the train around.
Okay, we got some unloading. Polishing the train.
We then hooked up again to the train and headed back down to Johnson City.
Man, this is really good. I love the background and the trees. This really looks like you're in an actual
After
railroad.
we got back to Johnson City, we shunted cars around for other locomotives such as number 12, number 9.
Okay.
11, 9, and
Hey,
12
it's Neville.
around this time were around the only locomotives operating at this point. The one locomotive that never was made that scared us all to the core was number 13.
There you go.
13 was going to originally be the third locomotive in the 10-wheeler class. 13 was never made due to the ET and WNC finding out later on that the 13 was an unlucky number. A lot of crew members would say they saw a ghost engine at night, and it donned the number 13.
Ghost engine.
But at the time, I didn't believe any of the ghost tales. It wasn't until this experience that I began to believe them.
It's just a silly
This night was
make-believe.
like any other at first. We were sitting in Cranberry with the locomotive, just sitting there. And then all of a sudden, we heard chuffing coming down the yard. I cautiously walked over to the tracks to look around. There was not an engine in sight. I was kind of uneased by this, but I let it slide. Then a whistle began to blow. It was much deeper and much more hollow than anything I'd ever heard.
And that is...
I looked over to where the noise was coming from to see a 10-wheeler locomotive. This locomotive was unlike the others. It had a glowing ore coming from it, and it donned the number 13. My heart sunk. How was this possible, I thought? Number 13 was never built. The engine stopped next to the tracks, and an engineer got out, and he was named C. Doss. "Excuse me, sir," said the engineer, "but do you happen to know where the train is?" I somehow managed to get myself to help him direct himself to the train. The engine backed up to the consist and actually took off with it.
This is getting dark right now. I like it.
I wasn't going to let this slide, and I chased after the train in my car. I got over to the downtown Cranberry Trestle. Nothing.
Great stop motion.
Around 5 in the morning, though, I heard that same dreaded chuffing again, and that deep whistle began to blow slowly. That dreaded whistle. It was so deep and haunting, I'd never heard anything else like it. It howled like a demon, echoing through the valley of Cranberry. The locomotive slowly creeped over the trestle. I looked over at the engine as the engineer was waving at me. What made it even scarier was I blinked and the entire locomotive and the chuffing was gone.
Frick.
I was so shaken up, I drove down to Cranberry and reported my experience. For the next 2 weeks, there was an investigation.
Polar Express music, let's go! Alright. I love Polar Express music. Can't wait
And they
to see
found 6-inch Crosby 3-chime laying against the track. This whistle was never seen on that same area before. It had looked like it had been there for years. We flipped the whistle over to see the numbers 13 carved into the side of the whistle. I knew that was the whistle I heard that night. That whistle was so haunting, I could never get it out of my head. I'm just glad I finally retired after that. I think I'm safe now. About 20 or so years passed, and I decided to ask local townspeople that used to live there if they had heard a deep-sounding whistle.
20 years?
No one could ever recall hearing one as deep as I could describe, except one person. It was Jacob Doss. I asked him if he had heard a deep Crosby 3-chime near the trestle. He said all he could hear was chuffing and a deep-sounding, gargly-sounding 3-chime whistle echoing through the valley. I asked him to describe the sound, and he said that the whistle slowly began to creep open until it reached its fullest power, and then the whistle began to slowly quiet down just as slowly as it opened up. This sent goosebumps down my spine. What I saw that night wasn't just fake. It was a genuine ghost sighting of the engine number 13.
There's no such thing as ghosts.
Whatever I saw that night wasn't good. I hope I never have to experience anything like that again.
Ugh. Whew. That's it? No one's gonna explain what happened to... That's okay. Wow. There we go. This is Halloween, yeah. Oh man, Engine 13. Hold on, I'm gonna wait for something in the end. Nothing new. Whew, man. This was crazy. This was dark, a little bit creepy, but an interesting story. I like that. It's not one of those kind of like where it's just Thomas. No, this is not Thomas. This is realistic story. This is a fictional story about realistic engines, ghosts. I don't believe in ghosts, seriously. But anyway. But this is just. This was really great. I would give it a 10 out of 10, or maybe a 9 out of 10. I don't know. It's not perfect, but still, but dang, it's a great story. Dark. Like the character narration, the points of view, the timeline. I gotta say, the effects were great. The background, the whole layout is just great. Mindblox, you really know how to do your stuff with engines. So, you know what? Great job. You know what? I changed my mind. 10 out of 10. I really like this. Really. So yeah, that was my reaction to Engine 13. Like I said, great story. Finally, it feels good to watch a fictional engine story where it's not Thomas. It's based on realistic engines or locomotives. So yeah, I really love this. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and I hope you have a good day and be really useful.